Good morning and welcome back to horse racing. Today, on this Veterans Day, we start off the show by saying thank you to all of those who have served our wonderful country to make it free, free speech, all of our rights, and hopefully we can continue on that path. And thanks again. Hopefully today, Terry and I, on this Monday, we have some picks for our veterans and everybody else that turn into some profitable picks at that. How was your weekend, Terry?
That was good. Yeah, we had, of course, the 49ers won. They tried to give the game away, but they made it through. So,
Well, that happens sometimes, right?
yeah.
It's football. Speaking of giving things away, we're going to give away some free picks today, a little later on at Guaranteed Tip Sheet at Turf Paradise. But I thought they were going to close, Terry, but apparently not. Huh? I don't know what's going on there.
Somebody saved them a little.
At least for one meet. They're going to start off 250 yards. Lolo Machete Blue. That one could be your winner at 4-1, ridden by Mr. Gutierrez. Make sure you check that out. There is a link in the description below. When the show is over in a little bit, you can head over to horseracingtoday.net. We'll post our picks along with our commentary and a replay of the show right here. Speaking of replays, when we're done, we will timestamp every race on the description at YouTube so that you can come back and watch every race just by clicking on the time in the description. It'll fast forward you right to that race if you want to see our thoughts, our data, whatever else. And then while you're there on horseracingtoday.net, click this link right here, HRT Gear. Head on over to our merchandise store and support the show by picking up something that says Horse Racing Today on it. And today, only 22% off of everything, or everything, as they say in Pennsylvania, because that's where we're going today, Terry, for Parx, starting off in race number 1. Fill us in on the details here.
All right, it's 7 furlongs, claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds upwards, which have never won 2 races.
Yes, and to get that third win, the profile of a winner does favor horses that have tactical speed. It means you want to be middle forward. About 1 in 4 horses, a little less than a quarter of them, win wire to wire. The inside 3 post positions, they have an edge over the rest. 4 and out, a similar discount. If you can get some inside tactical speed in race number 1, you got a shot. 1,000 simulations to tell us which horses have the best chance to get the lead. You'll see that right here. And then based upon our projected pace, which horses are likely to get a race that mirror their best performance in our C-zone. Typically, we want a score of 50 or better, meaning half the time they should get a good race. Q30, here you're looking for a number that's 30 or above. Par plus, in our 1,000 simulations, how many times they ran a speed figure equal to or above, in this case, 71. That is the par speed figure, according to Brisnet, the average winning speed figure. And finally, everybody wants something that's on sale. We want our simulation odds to be lower than post-time odds, so we get a bargain, Terry. Who's the bargain if you want to go fast early on?
Well, it looks like that 2's got more speed than anybody else in there, even though most of them show some kind of speed. So if that 2 gets out of that gate okay and the jockey makes the best decision, then it should get that quarter pole first. 2 has an overlay also of about 7 or 8 to 5 to 4 to 1. 4 has an overlay of about 9 to 1 to 15 to 1, and the 11's overlay is 8 to 1 to 12 to 1. All but the 3 and 7 have par plus numbers, and all of them show C-zones, and several of them are pretty nice.
A lot of robust speed figures in here. We're going to go quick. And then here's your race shape. A lot that want to be on the lead, a few that want to close. These horses, you better be the speed of the speed. At the beginning of the race, the 2 horse is the speed of the speed, with most of the other horses, 2 it's outside, although very competitive. You better have some late legs ability in this race. Flag Song Flynn, Pretty Lily, Ode to Eddie. A lot of them in here have similar late speed. Very tight race to get started, Terry. You can see from here to here, only 8 points difference, about a length and a half. You get a wide trip, you get bumped, you get blocked. Well, you could be first, or you might end up worst. Top 4, usually in there, you'll find the winner about 70% of the time. Terry, who are your winners today?
Well, I like the 5 Pretty Lily as my first choice. She ran second versus similar last race, has the highest last race speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like number 2, Atherneath. She drops in class today, switches a high percentage winning jockey, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. I like the 7 Flag Song Flying. She finished third versus similar in her last race. Her best dirt speed is faster than the average winning speed, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 9 as my long shot. Ode to Edie. She bobbled at the start, causing a really poor finish. Can improve while returning to a sprint, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I'm going to play the very first Miami Vice. Don Johnson, pick 4. I'm going to use the 2579 with the 1379 with the 14 with the 3910, a $48 ticket.
I think that 5 horse too, that's a good one to get on your top of your ticket. Top last race speed figure was 3 points clear of the next closest horses. That's usually enough to warrant some attention. Did also run better fractions and early pace in the last race. The 2 horse, this is the first race for Afterneath at Parx. It is a class and track dropper and is our simulation favorite in here, Terry. Ode to Eddie, the 9 horse, is the 3rd selection. Sizable class drop to the lowest level of Ode to Eddie's career. And then finally, Flag Song Flynn. Better pace last time from the middle of the race to the end of the race. A lot of times we see that momentum carry over, like you, pick 4. I'm going to go 259, the 7-9 with the 1678 with the 4, 5, 9, and 10. We also have a $100 budget, Benny and the bets, to spend however we want throughout the card. I'm going to start off with a $5 double, the 2-5 over the 7 and 9. I think that's 20 of my $100. And right now, according to our simulation odds, the 2 horse is an overlay. It's supposed to be about 3-2. You're getting 3-1. So you're getting about twice the value you should with Afterneath. The 5 horse is your favorite right now, Pretty Lily, the horse that's at the top of our picks. Where else do we find some value? Looks like Ode to Eddie, the 9 horse, should be about 6-1. You're getting 7-1, so a little bit of value there. Job's Not Finished, the 11 horse. That one might be the best bet in terms of value. It is 35-1. We have it at 8-1, so getting 4 times as much as you should. Also on the 4 horse, On This Harvest Moon, that one's 35-1. We think that odds should be closer to 9-1. So plenty of options in here to get more than you should get should they come home first today. So they're almost all lined up, Terry, just waiting for a few to go in. The starter to press the buzzer, and then Jessica Paquette to tell us about what's going on. I'll share with you what I see as the race develops. Looks like they're just waiting for the 11 and the 12 to go in, and we should be on our way today, Mr. Terry.
All right.
Again, tomorrow we'll do Parx about the same time. Wednesday we'll do Churchill Downs. Thursday it'll be Aqueduct. And Friday, well, Tom and I will get back to work for Foreign Friday. Not quite sure where we'll be working. Just know that there'll be long shots for sure. And they're off, and they are running a couple of weird starts. Ooh, the 10 horse. That horse's day is done. If you back that one, almost stumbled and almost fell over. Thankfully, did not. The 2 horse has darted to the lead down on the rail there. Got a pretty good sizable advantage over the 4 horse, the overlay there On This Harvest Moon. And then the 5 horse, the favorite, down on the rail. They ran an opening quarter in 23 and 4.14 seconds. The 4 horse continues to run in second. The 2 horse continues to set the tone. The 5 horse trying to make his way down there on the rail. They head down the backstretch into the turn. There's really not a whole lot of gaps between the first horse and the back horses in there. The 9 horse in the back of the pack trying to get in there. They slow down to 47 and 6. That 4 horse, that long shot there, Mr. Terry, he's going to be forced to be reckoned with right here, it looks like. He's taken to the turn on the lead there. He's 40-1. That was a new little overlay On This Harvest Moon. And then on the outside, you got the 12 horse. The 5 horse looks like it's peeked through down on the rail. The 11 horse is trying to make a mix in here. You got a bunch of other horses trying to come to the close. But it does look like that 5 horse is going to carry on to the finish line because nobody's really closing very hard. They're trying down there on that rail, though. The 11, Job's Not Finished. Another one of those value horses. But it's going to go 5, 11, 6, 12. 5, 11, 6, 12. Well, we had the 5 on top. It was the favorite there, Mr. Terry. And we didn't have anything else.
That's right.
Well, at least you had the winner. And we had
a good one to do. The thing I like to do, and you take the favorite and go $1 exacta box all.
Yeah, or you could have just did it with the horses where you got a little bit of value, right? Because the 11
Yeah,
horse
and I do
was
that. Yeah.
he was 23-1, so that
Yeah.
won't be bad. Let's move on then to race number 2. Terry, what's the story here?
All right. In race number 2, we're going to go to 6 furlongs. A maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse $26,000 for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, and at 6 furlongs for this maiden claiming affair, the profile of a winner favors stalkers. But if you get to the lead, 35% of the time, you'll keep it all the way to the finish line. There is an inside to outside bias. The better you are, closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. 8 and out is the only place where you get discounted. Terry, take us through the data for the second race.
Well, this is kind of anyone's guess because you can see there that the 7, 8, 9 have the most speed in here, and so there's 2 or 3 others that show some speed, and then the 1 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 5 to 1. Excuse me. The 4 has an overlay from 17 to 1 to 20 to 1, and the 7 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 7 to 2. Then the par plus numbers 9, 7, and 1. And all of them show C zones, and the 9 has a nice Q30.
Really strong C zone here on the 8 horse ET's Evasive Moon. Really strong chance that this race will look a lot like its best performance. The 9 horse Malibu at that 32. Again, in his book, James Quinn says anything over 30% you can bet blindly, and they return a positive ROI. Race shape, again, like the last race, Terry. Everybody wants to get to the front. Couple of horses in here that have not been within 5 lengths of the leaders. Speed of the speed, if you want to bet one of these up in here, that early pace belongs to the 3 horse. Spinning upside down, actually, it's not. The 7 horse, Keystat, is your quickest of the bunch, a little bit quicker than Malibu. Those 2 should get out, and the other one's a little bit behind. So those 2 should have an advantage. At the end of the race, Malibu, the 9 horse, does have the most late speed, along with Keystat. Our top total, come on, press the right button. Spinning Heart has the most late speed, 7 points clear of Malibu. That means it's about a length faster than everybody else, but it's going to be at the back of the pack. Your top total pace horse here is the 9 horse, Malibu, 7 points clear of Keystat. 5 points clear of this. Again, every 5 points equates to about 1 length. Maybe just do a trifecta key box 9 over the 1, 3, 7. You might find a winner there for your exactas and trifectas. Terry, what do you got? You're on mute. You're muted, Terry.
Sorry about that. All right, I like the 7 Keystat. He finished 4th in his last start as a favorite and has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 30% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 3 Spinning Heart, second choice, finished 3rd his last race at Keeneland, switches to high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 30% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse and switches to high percentage winning jockey. 9 Malibu. Blue is my 3rd choice, ran 2nd in his last race, has a high percentage, highest last race speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like number 1 is my long shot, Sir Palace Prince. He ran 2nd versus similar in his last race. The rail post win in an 18% clip, and he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 25% of the races. Maiden claiming races, he has a horse competing. I'm going to play the second pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-3-7-9 with the 1-3-4-6 with the 3-9 with the 1-2-7, a $48 ticket.
It's going to start with the 7 horse too, in this selection is Keystat. It's the only horse in this race that has a par race on its recent resume. All of the race internals are better across the board last time out. Horse is making the 2nd start after layoff, and the only other time made it 2 races in a row. Huge bump in round 2 off the sidelines. Malibu is your top total pace horse, 9 points better than the next, as we saw in our pace setup. And the top last race speed figure, 6 points ahead of the next closest horse. That might be a dynamic duo. Number 3, Spinning Heart. You got Michael Sanchez and Jamie Ness as that powerful trainer-jockey combination. It is a track dropper, bullet workout between races. Watch out for that one. Stormwatch, the 10 horse, maybe the most upside in this race, making only his second career start. Did show some speed in its debut, then faded. 2 workouts, you're going to cut back in distance. So when you see a first-time starter comes out of the box and does something that looks like this, you'll see here on the 10 horse, you see that speed early on right there and then faded at the end. A couple of workouts in there, good solid workouts too for that 10 horse, maybe some improvement. And again, you can add to the speed figure of 58, 5 to 13 points. So it could run as high as a 71. We'll see, maybe more, but plenty of room to improve. I'm going to do a pick 4, 3, 7, 9, 10 over the 1, 6, 7 over the 9, 10, and then 1, 2, 7, 9. And then I'm going to do a $5 exacta 7, 9 with the 3, 7, 9. That's another part of my $100 Benny and the Bets today. Off to race number 3 we go. Terry, what's the program about here?
Well, we're going to stretch out to 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a claiming race, $10,000 claiming price. Purse is $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since August 11th. Claiming races for $8,000 or less not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
So had you done that 5, like you mentioned, Terry, and then with some of those overlay horses that we talked about, the 511, that exacta for $1 paid $44.10. It would have been a pretty wise move in there.
Yeah.
At 1 mile and 70 yards, it's also wise to pay attention to the profile of a winner. Early speed dominates, about 4 out of 10 dominate on the front. Inside 3, they get an edge over the rest. 4 through 7 get a discount. And 8 and out is fair. So those middle horses could struggle, Terry, but the horse that gets to the lead might not struggle. And looks like a couple on the outside have the most gas when the gates open.
Yeah, the outside 3, but 6 and 7 have the most speed from there, and they could go head to that quarter pole. The 1 has a small overlay from just over 2 to 1 to 5 to 2. The 2 has an overlay small from 9 to 2 to 5 to 1, and the 3 has an overlay from 6 to 1 to 10 to 1. All but the 5 and 8 show par plus numbers, and all but the 5 show season.
And if we take a look at our spade, we only got one here with 50%. Pop the Champagne Road, that's 7 horse. Could get a good trip. Let's see if it'll get a good trip here too. Well, we're a little more balanced here in this race than we were in the first 2. You have most of them still want to be middle forward. So if these guys can be snug to the lead with a little bit of late speed, they might have an opportunity to run by. We do see a very competitive beginning there, Terry. All but one of the horses within 8 points. Again, get caught wide. You're on the outside. You get bumped. You get blocked, shuffled back. Could be very difficult if you don't get good position early on. If you don't, and you have some late speed, Pop the Champagne Row and Solemn Oath, they're much quicker than the rest down the stretch there, Terry. So it looks like the 1 and 7 should be well positioned. Pretty good late speed numbers in there to maybe run by them at the end. 7, 6, and 1, they are the clear trio above the rest. Put those 3 together in an exacta or trifecta box for $12. Terry, what do you think?
All right. Well, I like the 4, Tres Marina's Dream. She won 3 out of her last 4 starts. Has a trainer who wins 44% of the races when dropping a horse off a win. Then I like that 1, Solomon Oath, won her last race at Parx Racing. Has a high speed figure at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning jockey who's Paco Lopez. And the number 3, Secret Temptations, my third choice, finished in the money in her last 6 starts. She won 3 of those. And Switch's high percentage winning trainer wins 41% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. Number 6, Expect to Be Ready, is my long shot. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play the third pick 4, as they have 5 pick 4s today. First 4 races have pick 4s. And it's a 1, 3, 4, 6 with the 3, 5, 9, 10 with the 1, 2 with the 3, 4, 7. It's a $48 ticket.
Yeah, the pick 4 galore today for sure. I'm going to start off with the 1 horse, Solemn Oath. Last time out, the horse is better from the middle to the end of the race. And you can't pass on Paco when he rides at Parx. Expect to Be Ready. The 6 horse is your likely pace setter in here, Terry. This is the right distance for this horse, too. He's run 7 times and won 5 of them. You put it at any other distance, 23 times, only found the winner circle twice. So a horse for this distance on the course. Pop the Champagne Row, the 7 horse. That is the only horse with a par plus above 50% in there. I mean, a comfort zone and a decent par plus score to boot. And then finally, number 8, Helen, what is it? Leon Ortiz. I don't know.
Helen Ortiz.
Helen Ortiz. Yeah, right. Leon Ortiz, whatever.
Helen Ortiz.
Yeah. Speed figures are climbing for that one and did show much better fractions last time out, despite going longer. And maybe a long shot to juice up your exactas or trifectas. I'm going to do a pick 4. I'm going to go just with the 1 and the 6 to get me going. And then I'm going to go 5, 9, 10 with 1, 2, 7, 9 with 3, 6, 7, and 10 to round out my pick 4. Much like you, putting $48 of our $50 budget to work. Race 4, Terry, in this 9-race card is next on tap for us. So take it away.
Okay, we're going to shorten up to 5.5 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
And 5.5 furlongs, the short sprint, you would think favors early speed. And in fact, you would be right. 58%. Damn, that's a lot. Win wire to wire. Outside is better than inside, surprisingly, despite that quick turn. There's really no big edge or discount for any post position. So the dominant force being speed. So you better be super duper fast when the gates open, Terry. And well, there's 4 in the middle that look like they're the best of the bunch.
Yeah, it's a who knows race, I think, because almost all of them, or all of them, show some kind of speed. As you said, the ones in the middle, including the 9 on the outside, show the most speed. And then the 3 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 8 to 1. 4 has an overlay from about 7 to 2 to 6 to 1. The 5's overlay is from 3 to 1 to 6 to 1. 3, 4, 5, 1, and 10 show par plus numbers. All of them show C-zones.
And taking a look at this race shape here for race number 4, again, just so much that want to be up front. The 2 horse, Z So Good, that is a Sesame Street horse, unlike any other. Only a couple of closers in there in the 7 and the 8. Competitive early on, as we mentioned, Terry. We see that Choco. Yeah, there may be. That one is the most early speed, 4 points, 7 points clear of the rest. Only the 3 to its inside to get by early on. So look out if that one can get out to that length and a half lead like our early pace suggests it may. If not, when the race is coming to a close, Heavy Timber, Sharp Sensation, well, all the way down to here, very similar late speed numbers in there, Terry. So you start to see a separation of the grouping here. At the end of the race, the 5-horse Heavy Timber, the 3, the 4, and the 1, those are your top 4. More than likely, that's where your winner will be found, Terry. And, well, you're going to start with the 9.
I am the Borracho Concho. He's best start speed is fast among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like the 3 as my second choice, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. His early speed running style will help his chances, so the shorter distance can be a very good help. And he has a high percentage winning trainer. 10 is my 3rd choice. He has the highest last speed rating, and his early speed running style helps chances, so the shorter distance will also be a plus. 5 is my long shot, Heavy Timber. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 66% of the races when using second-time Lasix, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the 4th Miami Vice Don Johnson pick 4. Use the 3, 5, 9, 4, 9, 10 with the 1, 2, 4, 7 with the 3, 4, 7, 10 with the 3, 5, a $48 ticket.
The 10 horse gets the top of the ticket for me, Strasse or Street in German. Top last race speed figure, a cool lucky 7 points better than anybody else. And off of that 7-point speed figure win, this horse is dropping in class today. Borracho Concho, the 9 horse, second at this level a couple of races ago. And I like the fact that the owner and the trainer are the same dude. That means that usually you see these folks only put horses where they fit. Number 5, Heavy Timber. That one is another running at the lowest level of its career. And as you mentioned, Terry, when the trainer gives this horse second times Lasix, it's done it 15 times and brought home the top prize in 10 of them. That's a big number. And then finally, that 4 horse might have all that early speed, maybe too much for the rest of these to handle in a race where there is a lot of early speed. I'm going to do a pick 4, 5, 9, 10 over to 1, 2, 7, 9 over to 3, 6, 7, 10. And like you, Terry, I see 2 horses on the back end, the 3 and the 5. And then a $2 exact the key box. I'm going to put Strassa on top of the 1, 4, 5, 6, and 9 and hope that brings home a nice price combination for me. So I'm running through my $100 today, Terry. Just burning a hole in my pocket. Race number 5 is the mid-race today in this 9-race card, Terry. And what are the conditions here?
Well, we're going to go to 6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $15,000 claiming price, purse $28,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since August 11th. Claiming races for $12,005 or less not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
6.5 furlongs, stalkers, middle forward, best place to be at the quarter-mile marker. On the lead is a good spot to be too, because 35% of them go gate to wire. There's a very strong inside to outside bias with the post here, the rail. This runs for you having a very strong bias in there, Terry. So if that one horse has a lot of early speed in the 5th race, could be lights out for the rest. Should be a part of the early speed, but there's plenty to go around.
Yeah, as you look there, everybody has some kind of speed except for that 8. It's another one of those anyone guesses race as far as who gets that quarter pole first. That 4 has an overlay from 7.5 to 1 to 15 to 1. 7 has an overlay from 3 to just under 3 to 1, like it's almost not an overlay. Mm-hmm. And then the 9 has an overlay from 6 to 1 or 5.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. All but the 8 show par plus, and all of them show C zones.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them over 50%, predominantly on the inside, where you have that strong inside bias. Maybe just go with the C zone horses 1, 2, 3. See what happens with that. Our race shape, if you like trip handicapping, that's what you see over here on the left. E's are front runners, or I call them pilots. EPs can be pilots or co-pilots. The P's are your co-pilots. PCs are your flight attendants. They can be anywhere on the track, most versatile horses in all the horse racing. Closers, they sit and coach. And then NC types, well, they're on standby and didn't get a ticket because they've not been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. And your first-time starters, they go over here. None of those in this race. Just looking at this, most everybody wants to be middle back. That means the 2 and 7 should, if they get out to the front and have decent fractions, have a great chance to stay up there. Of those 2, Rebel Empire is the quicker by a pretty good margin. Just does have a lot of horses to its inside, though, to clear. So might have to work a little too hard. Got to try not to get stuck wide. Got a quartet of them in here, the 8, the 2, the 9, and the 5 that are better than everybody else by about at least a length as they come down the stretch. Looking at our top total pace horse, it is Jake's Rocks with Rebel Empire, Liberty Star, and Charlie's Harleys. Just take all the odd number of horses except for the 3, put them in an exact or trifecta box, Terry, and maybe that's the best betting strategy.
Could be. I like the 1, though. This runs for you. He has won 3 races out of the last 7 races, finishing 3rd in his last start. The rail post winning at a 21% clip, has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 2, Jake Rocks. He finished 3rd in his last race. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fast among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Rebel Empire, the 7, my 3rd choice, ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. Sophia's Prince, the 4, is my long shot, has won 2 races in a row and going for a hat trick now. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start with the 1 horse too. This rocks for you. This runs for you. That's where I got that one confused with another one. Faster fractions, despite going a half furlong longer last time. That is usually a sign of a horse coming to form. It hasn't won at the distance yet, 4 times out, no W's, but does have a 2nd and 3 thirds. So very competitive. Rebel Empire, the 7 horse. That one, Terry, is a Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera horse. You can never overlook that combination at Parx. And just missed at this level last time out with better early pace. Number 9, Liberty Star. Paco. Ooh, you can't pass on Paco at Parx. That's an alliteration right there. All of the race internals were better for Liberty Star last time out and did run some sneaky better fractions. And then finally, Jake Rocks, the 2 spot. That one is a track dropper that owns the most back class. Tafum, you're talking about today's bets at Horseshoe Indianapolis. I'll give you the 3 best bets today at, where do we have Horseshoe Indianapolis over here? Hollywood Gaming, Horseshoe Indianapolis. Is that it right here? Or is that Charlestown? Mahoning Valley. Do we not have Horseshoe Indianapolis in our picks today?
I thought.
Oh yeah, we do. Indiana. I can say Indiana Grand, right?
Yeah.
I always screw that up. All right. So today's best bets at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Now, we don't necessarily think they're the best bet to win, but the best bet to finish in the money. So, Terry, can you type this down for Tayfum? Race number 4,
Yeah.
the 6.
Okay.
And then race number 5, the 6. And then, is it even in that race? No, he's not in the race today, so he's scratched out. So forget that one, Terry. And then race number 10, the 2 horse. So best bets today at Horseshoe Indianapolis, race 4, the 6, and then race number 10, the 2.
Okay. I got
All right. There you go. Those are the best bets today at Horseshoe Indianapolis, Tayfum. You can get the rest of the picks at Horseshoe Indianapolis at Guarantee Tip Sheet. Head on over there, take a look at that, as well as the free picks today. Paradise, you'll see that right somewhere up in here. Your Turf Paradise best bets of the day included in there. When the show's over again, horseracingtoday.net's where you'll find a recap of the show, replay of the show, all of our notes for today's picks. And while you're there, today only, 22% off. Great way to save some money, help the show, and look your absolute best, unquestionably, with some horse racing today drip, as the kids call it, or merch, another thing. All right, Terry, what are we talking about in race 6?
Okay, in race 6, it's going to go to 1 mile, and it's a claiming race, a $25,000 claiming price, and it's a purse of $32,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since August 11th. Claiming races for $16,000 or less not considered, and which have never won 4 races.
And to win this race, Terry, which is exactly 1 lap around the Ben Salem track, you start and you finish at the same place. And that holds true for the winner as well. That gets to the front, because 38% of the time, the horse that wins the race to the quarter-mile marker also wins the race to the finish line. Post positions 1, 2, and 3, they play fair. 4 through 7 get a discount. By far, the best place to be is to wear that pink 8 or higher. There's some outside speed. Buffalo girls round the outside, and there is one of them out there that wears a pink 8. That is the Buffalo girl that can go around the outside.
Yeah, that 8, it shows the most speed, and it should get to that quarter pole first. It's got that plus advantage that you talked about, and then the 10 and the 9 follow up with their speed. The 1 has overlay from 6 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 6 has an overlay from 6.5 to 1 to 8 to 1, and the 8 has an overlay from 6.5 to 1 to to 8 to 1. All of them show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
Yes, only the 1 horse though cresting 50%. It looks like a really competitive race. If everybody has got a shot to go par plus, our simulation odds, you look how many of them are just in the same ballpark with each other. This looks like an all race according to our simulations. In the 6th race, most of the horses want to be middle forward. You do have one in here, again, a Sesame Street horse with the 9 people force. These EP horses, they have some flexibility. So the 6 and the 8 can go forward if they go too slow. They can be patient if they go too fast. At the start, Iconic Legacy is the fastest horse, and all the speed is on the outside there, Terry. That's the best place to be according to the track bias as well. So look out for that Iconic Legacy. If it can hold on at the end, you see it's a little bit red there in its late pace. Group Hug, boy, that one's going to be coming really fast at the end. That's almost 2 lengths quicker than Divine Miracle. And really, outside of those 3 fast horses up front, really won't be too far out of the mix early on. Group Hug is your top total pace horse. That one is 6 points clear of Divine Miracle. Anytime you top 5 points, it means you should be about 1 length better. Terry, that's a horse you must consider, and you consider it 3rd. We both start with the 7.
Yeah, I like 7, Divine Miracle. He likes Parx racing. He's been in the money 70% of the starts here, winning 41% of the races. The distance won't be a problem. He's finished in the money in 70% of the starts here, and also won 71% or 41% of the races. Roan Mountain, the 4 is my second choice, ran second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey, Paco Lopez. And the 3, Group Hug, is the third choice, finished in the money in 2 out of the last 3 starts, has a high percentage winning trainer, and Switch is high percentage winning jockey. 10, Parx is my long shot. He has a high percentage, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. Switches to a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play the last and final pick 4, 3, 4, 7, 10 with the 3, 5, with the 1, 8, 11, with the 1, 5, 9, 11, and $48 ticket.
Now this one, as we mentioned, is pretty wide open. Somehow we ended with the same horse on the top, the 7, Divine Miracle. This is the right distance for this one. 6 times out, 4 wins. 1/3 in there. Did show better early pace last time out. Group Hug. That's that top total pace horse that we talked about. 8 points clear, about a length and a half better than the rest of the field. And here you have Jaime Rodriguez and Jamie Ness. Kind of hard to not screw up that name combination. And that duo today could benefit from a horse getting a little bit of extra distance. The 6 horse, Level Up. That one ran the top last race speed figure. 3 points better than everybody else, ran better fractions, and in doing so, smoked the field by 12 lengths. That's a big-ass win there, folks. And according to Barry Meadows, if you win by more than a length and a half the prior start, probably about a 15% chance or more you're going to win this race, too. And then you got another Jamie Ness horse in the 10 horse, Parx. That one has been off since March, teaming up with Mikel Sanchez on that one, has some nice workouts. And when this guy gets a fast track, he wins 10 out of 21. This race is pretty wide open. The wide open races, I think, are the best place to put together trifecta boxes. So that's where I spent $24 more of my $100 budget with the 3, 6, 7, 10 in a trifecta box. And then the last pick 4 for me, 3, 6, 7, 10, 3, 5, 6, 1, 8, 1, 8, 9, and 11. And you know what's kind of scary about this race, Terry?
What's that?
Is that our good friend Private Ross, he thinks the 7 horse is the one to go in there as well.
Yeah, he does.
Right? Did I miss the best bets for the day? I don't think you missed Terry's best bet of the day. Have you? You haven't posted yours out there,
The
right?
next race. The next
race. Here's what's scary. Private Ross also likes Divine Miracle, folks. So we've just crossed the stream like the Ghostbusters. We're going to explode the world. Fade the 7 into oblivion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So we got about a minute or so for race number 2. Gary, before we get going to race number 2, make sure you don't miss any other races we do by
Go ahead and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hit the little bell so you're notified about any of the programs we have. And then go down to the bottom and copy the link. Share it with all your friends, neighbors, relatives, everybody you know. So then come check us out too. Go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. That helps us out quite a bit. You can see those down at the bottom as they scroll across. Also, keep these comments and picks coming because we enjoy getting them, and they really help us out as well.
Yeah, we want to know which horses to fade to. So, yeah, any interactivity between us and you online. So if you click on a link or you hit a comment, come back to watch another show, come back a little later on when we timestamp the races in the description on YouTube. Any of that helps us with the algorithm. So when people search for horse racing picks, we're more likely to show up in their results. Thumbs up help a lot in that as well. So we appreciate that. And as Terry said, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Only 1 out of 10 people actually hit the subscribe button. With all the winners, we should be 10 out of 10 here that we give out. And then if you're watching on Twitter, please just retweet the show. So anybody who's kind of out there looking for picks, they'll find it, because the more we're retweeted, the higher Elon puts us in his algorithm as well. So we appreciate that. Race number 2, they are off. They are running. And at the moment, the 9 horse has darted to the lead. And then let's see what else is. I think the 1 horse has gone with him as well on the inside there. They're running down the backstretch. And you got the 9 and the 1. They're still duking it out. The 1 horse has put his nose in front of the 9 horse. The 7 horse going to run 3 wide. To its outside is the 10 horse. They ran the opening quarter in a little more than 22.5 seconds. The 9 and the 1 continue to set the tone. The 9 horse looks like it's running pretty smoothly. The 7 horse right now is trying to make up some ground, but it's going to go 3 wide. That trio has put a pretty good gap between them, and it looks like the 3 horse back there in 4th. Got way in the back of the pack, a couple horses trying to make a move, but this looks like it's going to be between these top 3 horses. The 1 horse continues to set the tone here. It looks like he might be the one that finishes this race in first place. I think he is going to finish in first place, although the 3 horse is making a valiant effort to get up in there, but it ain't going to get there. The 1 horse, Sir Palace Prince, is your runaway winner. 1, 3, 9, and then 7. So Terry, with the superfecta, he's still alive in his pick 4. I just got bounced, and Sir Palace Prince was the second choice according to our simulation odds. And that's why we do all this, folks, so that we can have a, that's why we do all the data.
That's right.
Yeah, indeed. And also in that top 4 as well, 1, 3, 7, 9 were the top 4 horses according to our total pace as well. And they were also the superfecta. Again, that's why we do all that. Good. Now let's close out that pick 4, Mr. Terry.
All right.
What are we doing now? Race number 7?
Race number 7, yes.
7. All right. So let's move on to the 7th spot. What do we got cooking here? I know you mentioned this is going to be your best bet, Terry. Let's talk about the conditions to getting to Terry's best bet.
It's a 6 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race, $16,000 claiming price, purse $50,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $16,000.
So for 6 furlongs, early speed, 38% of the time, the horse that wins the race to the quarter-mile marker wins the race to the finish line. Post positions 1, 2, and 3. They play fair. And then there is, I'm looking at the wrong one. 6 furlongs still favors that. 35% of the time it goes wire to wire. There is an inside-out bias. Only 8 and out is below par, Terry. So inside speed is the best place to be for race number 7. And there's one of them with a lot of inside speed.
Yeah, that 3 shows with lots of speed. So I really think it's going to get to that quarter pole first. And the 3 also has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 5 to 2. 4 has an overlay from just under 4 to 1 to 15 to 1. All but the 1 show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones, and especially those 4 middle ones.
Mm-hmm. Our race shape for the 7th race tells us, again, everybody middle forward in here, a lot of speed. Well, we're seeing speed hold up today. So if that's the case, winning time, that's the fastest of them early on. Although the 5 horse over here, the PC type, is a little bit of a left arrow horse. So it can be patient, can let those other 4 really burn themselves out and then try to use the late speed to come home. I don't see colors a little bit faster than winning time at the end. Everybody else pretty much on line with each other down there below. Those 2 are your top total pace horses. They are 9 and 11 points clear of the next group. So this looks like it's between the 3 and 5. Terry, which one did you put on top?
Well, I like the 3 as my pick of the day at Parx. He's winning time. He's ran 30 in his last race, has a highest speed figure at today's distance. He has a high percentage winning trainer, and he has my favorite jockey at Parx Racing, Paco Lopez. And then I like number 5, I Don't See Colors. He's finished in the money in his last 4 starts, winning 2 of the races. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like number 6, like the way he finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. His early speed running style will help his chances, so the shorter distance will really help. And he has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like Caddy's Uncle. The 7 is my long shot. Been on the money 58% of the races at Parx Racing. Has won 13% of those starts. The distance has been in the money 83% of the time and won 33% of the starts. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $20 to win and $30 to place on number 3, a $1 exacta box 3, 5, 6, 7, a $4 exacta 3 with the 5, 6, 7, and a $5 daily double the 3 with the 1, 7, 8, 11.
I have the 5 horse. I Don't See Colors. That one ran the top last race speed figure, 13 points. Better than everybody else. It is one of 2 horses to have a par race on its recent resume. And with a 13-point speed figure advantage, that one has to come down a lot or the others come up a lot. Winning time, Terry's best bet of the day. Good chance to be better in the second start after a layoff with the Paco riding, as he mentioned. 6 times its horse has run, 6 times it's finished in the money. 6, Light the Way. Better early pace last time out. This one, Terry, is very concerning to me because it's in for a check on a big-time class drop, not in for a price. So you see, let's go over here just so we can look at that 6-horse Light the Way. This is optional, claiming $16,000, as you mentioned in the description of the race. Light the Way, not in for a price. Otherwise, it would say $16,000 here. This one's running, though, at Aqueduct, Saratoga, Belmont, comes to Parx and wins its maiden race, and then tries the optional, claiming $75,000. Runs a competitive race, finishing third, and now dropping all the way to $16,000. That's a pretty big class drop. Not in for a price. It's in for a check, because when you look at this $50,000 purse, you get 60% of that. That's 30 grand. I think there's a reason this horse is running down here. And finally, number 2 is my last pick. All-American Rod. This one just needs to repeat either of its first 2 races. That would do. The first time out, last time up, after a little bit of rest, wasn't so good. But if it can rebound here, could hit at a nice price. No bets for me. 2 races to go. So we start with the first leg of the late daily double. Terry, race number 8.
Yep, we're going to go 6 furlongs. It's an allowance race, $41,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania bred 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won a Pennsylvania restricted race or races other than maiden, claiming, or starter.
Again, 6 furlongs does favor horses that like to be middle forward. A little bit more than 1 out of 3 wins wire to wire. There's the inside to outside bias. Really, the only place that gets whack-a-mole is out, 8 and out, Terry. So give me some inside speed again to focus on.
Well, it's a really who knows race again, although you can see that the 1 and the 3 are inside and have some speed there. So, and then the 8 and 6 have the follow-up speed. There's 8 has an overlay from 2-1 to 7-2, and the 11 has a small overlay just over 2-1 to 5-2. All but the 2 show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones, especially the the 2 and the 3.
Yeah, they're the only ones above 50%. So they could get a trip that really favors their favorite type of running style. Pretty balanced race here, although most of the horses want to be middle forward. That could give the 4 and 7 an edge, because, again, those horses are a little bit flexible in terms of, do they need to be on the lead? No. Can they pressure? Yes. But if the pace is too slow, they can take charge. Whiskey Romeo Sierra, that is the quickest of the bunch. It is on the inside, but you got the 1, 3, and 8. They want to be forward. They should be there. The 6, 7, all these horses should be pretty much placed where they want to be. At the end of the race, in case they go too fast early, the 11 horse, Dylan's Ruby, along with Humble Joe, Dance Code, Ninja Prize. They're all very similar. Again, whole bunch of horses in here with very similar numbers at the end of the race. You add it all up, Ninja Prize is 5 points better than Dylan's Ruby, which is 4 points better than Setter Mid Maddie. And then after that, they cascade down. Gets pretty competitive. So maybe, or the 11 to pick the one that you like the most there, Terry, and you did.
I did. I like Dylan's Ruby, or Dylan's. He likes Parx racing. He's been in the money 86% of the time, winning 14% of the starts. And at the distance, he's been in the money 75% of the races, winning 25% of the starts. Then I like 8 Ninja Prince. He ran second versus similar in his last race. His early speed running style will help his chances, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 1 Whiskey on whatever.
I think it's Whiskey Romeo Sierra.
Yeah, whatever. He won his last race. The rail post win an 18% clip, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Clever Tiger, the 7, my long shot. He has won 2 of his last 3 races, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm out of money, so no additional bets for me.
I'm going to start with the 1. That's going to be my pick. Whiskey Romeo Sierra, or more appropriately pronounced, whatever. That one is making the 3rd start after a layoff with the top last race speed figure, 3 points clear of the next closest horse. And the only other time this horse had a 3-race cycle recently, that horse really boomed in the classic handicapping angle. Ninja Prize, the 8 horse. That one is the top total pace by 5 points. Also, our simulation favorite. And not only did it run that top total pace, but a really consistent performance. So I'd expect a mirror race this time about. 11, Dylan's Ruby, most back class, going to cut in distance in its classic third start after a layoff as well. And then the 4-horse Jules in the Bay. This one's been off since July. Does have a lot of 5 furlong works prepping for today. So this one should be fit. I'm going to do a $1 double, 1-8 over the 1-6, 8, 9, 11. And then a $1 exact the key box to 1 over the 4, 8, and 11. And I think that exhausts my budget for the day. That takes us off to the final race of the day, Terry, race number 9. How are they closing the show in Bensalem?
All right. So in race number 9, we're going to go to 6.5 furlongs, claiming $5,000 claiming price, a purse of $18,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races since May 11th.
6.5 furlongs. I think it's the third race like this today. Stalkers, 35% win on the front. Inside-outside bias with the rail. La Cienega getting a big-time rail bonus in there, Terry. So does that one horse have enough speed to take that rail bonus to the finish line?
Well, it's got speed, but everything in there almost has speed. The 6 and the 7 show the most speed along with that one. So I'm not sure who's going to get there again. The 5 has an overlay from 9-1 to 12-1. 6 has an overlay from 5-2 to 12-1. And the 11 has an overlay from, just under 5-1 to 6-1. They all show par plus numbers and all show C zones, and some of them are pretty nice.
Yeah, a bunch over 50 on that comfort zone. This is a race that could be extremely competitive. And then, well, maybe not so much from a pace standpoint. If that 1 and 9, everybody else middle back and a distance and surface that favors early speed, you get out to the front and give this group, and you got a chance. The 1 and the 9, they're going to be out front there. The 1 on the inside, probably the best chance to be on the lead. And so far, being forward is 2 for 2 on the day. The late speed belongs to Old Head, a little bit better than Angelic Storm, Bahama Pearl, but again, very competitive down the stretch. This race is probably going to be won in the first half of the race. Old Head is your top total pace horse. You got 4 of them pretty close to each other within 3 points. The 11, 9, 6, and 7. Terry, which of those made your final selections?
All right. Well, I like that 11 horse, Old Head. She ran second versus similar in her last race. She has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. 9, Aaron's Enthusiasm. Has finished in the money in her last 3 races, winning her last race at Parx Racing, can handle the distance. And I like the 1 as my third choice. She's won 25% of her starts at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 25% of the races when dropping a horse off of a win, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 5, Angelic Storm. She has finished in the money in 3 out of the last 4 races, winning her last race at Parx Racing. She has a high percentage winning trainer. No money, so no more bets for me.
I'm going to go about with the 11 horse, Old Head 2, top last race speed figure, 4 points. Just missed at this level last out. Runs the same race or improves a little bit. Could bump in the second start after a layoff. Dantastic, the trainer, the owner, that's the same person for Dantastic. Again, I like that. The last race, the horse bombed, just did terribly. And I was like, why in the world do I want to put this one in here? But every single time the horse bombed in its most recent races, the very next race rebounded. So maybe because of that last effort, horse players will avoid that horse and we get some good value. La Cienega, that is the one horse that rides that really hot rail in there. And look out if that one's your pace setter, Terry. And then finally, the 9 horse, the last pick for me today, Aaron's Enthusiasm. It was a tough call over to 6, but did have a big win in her last race and is in top form right now. Those are our full picks for today. Here are the full picks. The 5 won the first race, the 1 won the second race. Here's what we see for the rest of this day right in here, Terry. Again, if you want some free picks a little later on today, Turf Paradise is the play. You can get a link for that in the description below. Just a few minutes from now, we'll go ahead and post our comments along with our notes and a race replay right here. HorseRacingToday.net. Get yourself some Horse Racing Today gear by clicking on this link in the menu right there. It'll take you to this page. And today only, you save 22% on anything that you buy. Again, tomorrow, Terry, we're going to run at Parx. And if you don't want to miss the Parx show, what's the very best thing, smartest thing you can do right now?
Well, you need to subscribe right now if you haven't done that. and hit that bell so that you're notified about what time our show is going to start. And also go down and copy the link to share with everybody you know so they can come check us out. Go to our social sites such as X, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and Instagram at Horse Race the number 2 day, and give us a like and a thumbs up. It really helps us out. And then also go keep giving us your picks and your comments, because we really enjoy getting them, and then it helps us out too.
Just a little quick preview, folks. I've been telling you for a while, we're working on some stuff. I'm just about there in Excel. Here's all the data that we've talked about in here and more. There's a few more charts and graphs that we'll be adding into it. But shortly, we will have all of the data available for every race at every track for thoroughbreds. It'll include in there our simulated odds, along with the morning line odds. It'll show the par plus, and then if the horse has got a par race recently, Q30 score, if it's improved with its early pace, mid pace, or late pace. It'll let you know if they're all up or down. We also have faster fractions if they finished in the front half, our speed figure plus 3 horses. Down here, we'll have our pace set up, and then you'll be able to look at the pace set up and see if these horses are going to be in their comfort zone or not. And then finally, the all of our other items in there in terms of our pace setup. And there's a couple more graphs coming as well. All of this will be available soon, and we'll tell you where you'll be able to get it. We think it'll be very valuable in helping you in your handicapping. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to tomorrow, Terry. But before we go to get ready for Parx for Terrific Terry Tuesday, any final words of wisdom from you?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Don Johnson, Albert Ross, Tayfun, Sadat, and also Ross 99, and let's see, Audio, I think is how you pronounce it, and also Barry Knight, and say thank you to them, and thanks again, Don Johnson. Other than that, just stay safe and enjoy your week. See you tomorrow.
Indeed. No matter what you're doing for this Money Monday, we certainly hope that all of your life goals, endeavors, they end up being blessed with God's grace, God's favor, and everything you do until we get together again tomorrow for Terrific Terry Tuesday ends up in
a winner's circle.
Indeed. And hopefully by then I can untie my tongue. Have a fantastic Monday.